I think it's time for a theme song. I think it's probably time that I reach out to a friend and request a theme song. I'm now realizing that as I sit here waiting to read out my intro. I think it is. I think we're at that point. You know, it's time. Well, Elliot, everyone. Welcome to episode number five. Number five of Graphic Design is my Elliot. GDIME, the only graphic design podcast. The happiest of Tuesdays to you all. It is truly Elliot time. We'll pause for the thumbnail. And hello, everyone. It is so good to see you. Welcome back to another week, another episode. Boy, oh boy, am I just so excited to give you GDIME, to present to you GDIME in its finest of forms, in its truest of forms. This has quickly become one of my favorite things to do. And every time I think I'll run out of things to say, every single time I think I run out of things to say, I realize I have so much more to say. The ideas truly don't stop coming. I have a dot point list today. So many things are in my head, and I'm just ready to share it. Expect a 2-hour episode. Expect a 2-hour episode of GDIME. I'm being deadly serious right now. Let me address the controversy. As you can see, I am missing a frame on my wall. There is an awkward empty spot. Imagine this. You go away for a 5-day holiday, a lovely rest, and you come back and a print that you've hung up is just on the floor, okay? And you heard rumors of it falling, right? You know, the week before I heard it cracking and creaking. I heard the Velcro of the command strips loosening a bit, the little threads kind of coming undone. And I ignored it. I just pressed it against the wall a little bit harder, and it fell off. I can only imagine how loud it would have been. That's what I think scares me the most. That would have been a really loud thud. The print is currently leaning against the balcony glass now, in a spot that will be there indefinitely because I would like to replace it. I just need to figure out how to do it because I'm realizing that the frame is too thin for the command strips. It was a really bold effort putting the command strips on where, like, I think a fifth of the command strip was stuck to the frame. That's how thin the frame is. So I probably need to use a hook system. The strips are still on the wall, though, as you can kind of see based on their shadows. So they will stay up there for a little bit longer. But we're gonna have to do a big framing day soon where we hang everything up. I think I'm looking forward to that. As the end of my lease draws sooner and sooner. So we may only get a few good months of hanging things up, depending on how much they bump my rent up. Am I right, Sydney? But we'll hopefully stick around for a little bit longer. But that's what's happened, if you're wondering. I also don't remember if I brought this up last week, but as you can see on the very far right, we now have an umbrella tree, a beautiful native Australian plant. And on the right here, we have a burgundy ficus elastica, in its true Latin name, which is a lovely little plant as well. We're expanding. Plant dad. I love plants. I love them. What can I say? But lovely to see you all. Today's featured item of the week. It brings me great pleasure, of course, to introduce this one. I'm very happy with this one today. We have this right here, which is the what's it called again? This is the J the Spray, which is a little incense burner, would you believe? And it's by Jarlo and Usual. It's a collab between the two. I've bought something from Jarlo before. They make some really cool ceramic knick-knack kind of things, and I really love this little spray can. Would you believe that when you burn the incense in this one, it comes out of the top just like spray paint would? So imagine the reaction from people seeing that instead of spray paint coming out of the top, it's smoke from incense. Isn't that awesome? So congratulations to Jarlo and Usual for being the featured run of the week. That's amazing. Let's do a run report. I did not go for a run today. I did not go for a run. Oh, I know. I couldn't believe it. I woke up. I set my alarm to 7 a.m. and I said, get up and run. And then I woke up and I was like, Elliot, you've just been on holiday, mate. You've just been on holiday. Time for a rest. But I'm going to go for a run later in the day. So to address the rumors, yes, I was on holiday for the last 5 days, which explains my absence on everything. Obviously, I obviously had three YouTube videos I wanted to upload in the last 5 days, but I couldn't because I was on holiday. Obviously, that's why I haven't posted in 2 months. Obviously, guys, come on. But yes, I was away on a little holiday up at the coast, which was exactly what the body and the mind needed. A little bit of R&R, which was lovely. I got some good rest. I went on for a little run, which was quite lovely as well. My stomach hurt the entire trip, which was a bit too much information, but it was something that will probably be the main memory of the trip for me. Just how much pain I was in the entire time. But I am okay now. I blame the pain on the fact that I was away from my daily nutrients drink, my athletic greens, my AG1. I had it for 5 days in a row, and then I took 5 days off, and my body was like, where are my greens? I should have brought my travel packs that they gave me in my thing. Anyway, we're back on the athletic greens, and the body is reset, and I feel fine. And of course, it wouldn't be GDIME without my co-host as well. I did not get rid of him, don't you worry. Elliot Clone is still here. There he is, my sweet boy. And yes, he still does meow. God bless him. I love you so much. One day you will be complete. Speaking of the clone update, he is so close. Like I cannot, it annoys me how close he is. But it seems like every time I finish the render, every time I chuck him into Unity, there is a new problem. So the final thing left, I simply need to, he's got glasses now. Okay, not here. This is an old render, but the new one has glasses, which is really cool. The glasses currently, like, imagine. Okay, let me take these off. This is what it's like. Okay, so imagine the glasses are on, and then he turns his head, but the glasses are kind of moving at a different rate, so they need to be stuck to the head. That's a weight painting issue. I know exactly how to fix that. It just means I need to redo a lot of the stuff in Blender, but that's fine. And then the only other thing is that the arms, instead of whatever this is, the arms almost become chicken wing. Like they fold into himself like this, and it looks like he's like going like, what? Like that's the arm pose. It's like, come on. Like, it looks like he's always doing that. Got no idea how to fix that. I'm so confused. In one of my VTubing softwares, he does not do that, and it's the arms are straight and it works. But in this one that I'm using, VMagick Mirror, for some reason they fold in. So we need to fix that, and I think the key to that is deleting a shoulder bone on each side. Apparently the shoulder bones are optional. The body that I built does not really have shoulders, so I think that's what's happening here. We're going to experiment with that later today, and I am committed. Oh my god, I cannot express how committed I am, everyone, to finishing this fucking clone tonight. Okay? I want to be clear. Once GDIME is done, once I've scheduled GDIME, I work on the clone until the clone is done. And I don't give a hoot. I don't give a hoot if that means I go to bed at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'll probably stop at 3 a.m., not going to lie. That's a bit late. That's a bit much. I am going to get this clone done. I'm going to stop thinking about it, and I'm going to move on and make the video, because that's what I really need to get a video out by the end of this month. It was meant to be out the end of last month. Things have slowed down. So I really need to get this done. It's taken a lot longer than I was expecting it to. Then again, I was being very generous with my personal expectations on how well I knew Blender and stuff. It's been a whole process. So I'm so proud of you. I love you, but it needs to be done. Needs to be done. And I need to give it a voice and a heart and a body and a soul. And I've done the body, and that's it. The rest, the soul will come tonight. That's the goal. I just need to fix a few little issues, but otherwise, that's coming together. Speaking of YouTube as well, last week we were talking about my lovely coffee with fellow YouTuber Ben Marriott. Can I tell you how good it is to see that we were chatting so much about what makes a good video? We were sharing YouTubers that we find inspirational to each other. It was this lovely, beautiful, productive chat about being YouTubers. And then he goes ahead and uploads a video, right? A fantastic video that you should absolutely check out. He animates the worst logos ever made kind of thing, which is one of them is like a classic accidentally rude logo that looks like a dick and balls, guys. It's ridiculous. And then the other one is the London 2012 logo, which I personally still think is good, but universally is considered to be quite bad by the general public. And he animates them, and he kind of like revives them through animation. Fantastic video, and it was so good to see. I've been checking the view count like every day because it's blowing up, and I'm like, we were talking about the video, and I could tell that it was going to work out based on how he was talking about it, based on like we know what makes a good video now, and that excites me a lot. And I think it just means that like if there is a formula, right? There is a formula to making a video work. You just got to make like 50 videos before you figure out that formula. And even like you think you know it for so long, and then you realize you really don't. And then one does really well, and you go, that's the formula. And you just get it. And I think my last video was that, and I really figured it out. And now I'm like, the clone video will blow up. Like, I know it will. I can force it to blow up. I'm at that point now. And that's very exciting. I just need to fucking do it. I just need to do it. And that's another thing. I've just been like, I've just been so frustrated. It's funny going like from full work mode, right? Making this clone, making all this stuff, pretty much like 24/7 for the last 2 weeks, and then going on a holiday, and the last thing I do before the holiday is finish this render that I think will be the final version, and then seeing it has errors and being like, damn, I'm going to sit with this on my mind for the entire holiday. Thankfully, it wasn't too much, but I did bring my iPad, and the goal was that I would write the script while I was away. I didn't do that, guys. I did not do that. And I think that's not a sad thing. That's instead a good thing, and deserves a round of applause from the mouth of clone Elliot in a very weird method there. It was good. It was a good break. It was good to not have to worry about doing any work, I think, and I'm glad I didn't force myself to. I think that would have been bad. What I did instead was I started reading Dune, the book Dune. June, that's a month. Dune, the movie. That turns out there's a book. It's great. I really enjoy it. I was saying this to my friends on the trip, that Timothée Chalamet is that character. Like, I'm 50 pages in, but you can just tell. Right? You can just tell. And I'm going to try and get back into some daily reading. I think that's very important, especially considering my vocabulary is slowly fading away into the distance. The less I read, the more words I forget. So it's important to get back on top of this. However, the words that I am learning in Dune are not usually English words. They are Dune words, such as gom jabbar, which is a word for a certain type of poison. And that stuck with me more than any other word. You know, Dune has a glossary in the back. It's like a 20-page long glossary. And I thought that would be annoying, but it's actually quite nice to kind of, there are moments where it's like, you know, this doesn't happen, but it's like, let's say if one of the characters was talking to another and it's like, have you seen the gom jabbar? And then you'll be like, what the fuck is a gom jabbar? And then the other character will be like, what? The poison that can kill you in a heartbeat? And then the other guy goes, yeah, the gom jabbar. And you go, oh, okay, that's the gom jabbar. But that happens about 5% of the time. The rest, sometimes you get bombarded with like 3 words in one sentence that you've just never heard of before. Go to the glossary, figure it out. But I'm getting lazy, and I'm kind of just relying on the book to lead me there. But it's been good. It's been good to get back into reading. Shout out to reading. Can highly recommend. Oh my God, such a good thing. Podcast as well. Looking forward to going on a run later today, and I want to listen to Poog again, which is the Kate Berlant and Jacqueline Novak podcast, which is my favorite podcast. I absolutely adore it, and I can only hope that one day GDIME will become a slither of what Poog is. Thank you as well for everyone who has rated the show 5 stars on Spotify. We're at like 77 ratings, and I've hardly plugged it, so I really do appreciate that. Dare I say, the GDIME community is the strongest community in the world. I also checked the Spotify design category, and if you scroll down enough, you actually see GDIME. It's there. It's like in the top 50 or something. And I was like, okay, this is a thing. And I was thinking as well about how I could potentially grow this, because I obviously haven't plugged it at all on my main Instagram page. I've only ever plugged it on the community tab on YouTube and Discord, the Discord server that obviously doesn't exist. It's definitely not a real thing for my ex-Twitch community. Definitely isn't a real Discord that you shouldn't go looking for. but I haven't plugged it on. I've only plugged on an Elliot Royale on Instagram, right? So I'm thinking, in terms of how I want to grow GDIME, at first I wanted it to just naturally grow, but I kind of want to push it hard. But I think the difficulty for that is that you have to start making short form content. Ooh, yikes. And I don't really know if that's something I can get the confidence to do. Because this is just me, talking shit, chatting shop and nonsense and blah, 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 How on earth am I meant to cut this down into short form content? And I think the only way I could do it is if I just pay someone. I say, hey, can you make me some shorts? They go, of course. And they just run the shorts. They just make the shorts. They run the socials. They post it. And I don't touch it and I don't worry about it. And I keep focused on the main stuff. I think that's it. I don't think I can work on GDIME any more than what I do, which is just sit down and record. So that's something that I think I'm interested. If you are interested, maybe leave a comment. Maybe otherwise, I don't really know. But I think there is potential for GDIME to grow through short form stuff. And I obviously want to plug it on the main channel once I start actually making more videos on the main channel, because I think I have to make 4 in the next 2 months based on me saying yes to too many sponsors in hopes of being able to get more money so that I can get more apartment when I move to more New York. I think that would be a great idea, because wouldn't it be nice to actually just not have to worry about money in New York, because it is going to be expensive. So I would like to have a solid income going by the time I'm over there. I think that would be nice. Hey guys, huge news last week. I don't know if you saw, because the world definitely did. The world definitely did. But Threads happened. And I'm a Threadster. What can I say? Big thread head. Thank you for 30,000 followers on Threads. The reason I'm such a big thread head is because, of course, that everyone gets that option. They get that option when they sign up, and it says, do you want to follow everyone that you follow on Instagram? And turns out around 10% of the people say yes. 30,000 followers just like that. Too easy. That was the one thing about Twitter that I found was difficult, is that it felt so detached from my Instagram page, and it was a different thing, and it was a different person almost. This is like a different person, but it's still that there is that thread, dare I say, between my Thread account and my Instagram account. That means that people recognize me. It's still Elliot is a cool guy. It's good. And I'm very happy about that. I'm a big fan of this Threads thing. Not going to lie. I was a big Twitter guy personally, but then I'm the kind of guy, I'm a big doom scroller, right? So after a while, I just keep, reading about things that made me upset in the state of the world. And then I'd just be like, waste hours on Twitter. And then Twitter, of course, would be like, hey, you want to see more of that? And I'd be like, okay. And then I eventually just deleted it and then kept my second account, which is my Washington Wizards burner account. And that's the thing. And then that slowly became the doom scrolling account. Somehow it started happening. But I've kind of, I got better at muting stuff and moving on. So it's just NBA content. I think that's a really good thing. Also, shout out to anyone who plays NBA Crossover Grid. It's like Wordle, but for the NBA. Search it up if you haven't, if you're a big NBA fan. Crossover Grid changed my life. I'm not very good at it, but it is fun. But Threads is good. Threads is really good. I've been enjoying just posting random things that I don't have the confidence to post on Instagram. Dare I say, how many times am I going to say that, this podcast? Dare I say that Threads is my shit posting account? I hate that phrase, but it kind of is. It is annoying me though. I've had to unfollow some people already, not mute, but straight up unfollow. I don't believe in muting. I'm a big believer in unfollowing. You got to get rid of them for good. I struggle scrolling on that app. I do struggle scrolling on it. I don't know what I want out of Threads, and I think what I want out of it is actually a few of my friends and like the people in my improv community have started jumping on Threads, right? And they're just posting stuff like they did when it was like early Facebook, right? Those things when it was like when I would do like ELLIOT is currently at the water park with friends, and that was your Facebook status, right? You would do is because it would trail along like that. It reminds me of those days where people are just posting nonsense and not expecting anything out of it, not expecting it to be content. It's just what's on their mind. And Twitter never felt like that for me. Twitter always felt like everyone was a creator, but Threads, since I think it's under that Meta umbrella, feels like it's more of there is a bit of social media attached to it. And I like that about it. I like that a lot. It also could be that there's no ads. So right now it just feels like a big group chat kind of in a way, which I like too. Obviously, it's a nice change going from the Elon Musk platform to one not run by him. Mark Zuckerberg, as much of the devil as he is, feels like he is slightly better in a way. And it just feels better. Like you don't have to see shit that just annoys you. It's nice. It's different. So I'm enjoying it as it is. I imagine it will change, but it feels like it's well moderated, I guess, which is refreshing, I think, going from Twitter and all that free speech bullshit and all that stuff. It's a nice change, I think. I would just like to see people say, at the park today, and I like it, and I go, happy Muffin Fridays. That's nice. That's nice. You know, I like being able to do that. Considering taking Muffin Fridays over to Threads, something I'm also considering, but I haven't put too much thought into it. I definitely want to think more about it, though. Might have to take a day out of this week to think about making the change from Muffin Fridays or not. Had a lovely Muffin Fridays last week. Thank you to anyone else who participated. It was really lovely to see someone put on their story like them and 5 friends or something all eating a muffin. Happy Muffin Fridays. I was like, that's really cool. It's going to catch on. I posted a TikTok saying happy Muffin Fridays, everyone. I've been trying to find a way to get back into posting on TikTok, and I figured maybe a weekly Muffin Friday update. It is my lowest viewed TikTok I've ever posted. I cannot believe how poorly it's doing. And I think maybe it's not the right thing for that. So I'm going to do an Instagram live stream on Friday at around 11 a.m. That'll be Muffin Fridays. That's going to be my new thing. God, what a world where I have to consider where I update people about Muffin Fridays. But I think Threads makes more sense. I don't know if people want to put it on their Instagram story. I think people are very happy putting it on their thread. So yeah, I'm number like 300,000 and something. I saw they've got like over 70 million now or some shit like that. It's crazy. So many people are on Threads. I think it's going to work out. I actually do think it'll be the one. But I really don't like seeing people promoting their stuff on it. Like using it as another platform to post this, like, oh, new YouTube video, oh, new thingo. I'm like, okay, come on now. We've had this for a week. You don't need to, I think you needed to post for a week. This is threadicate. That's a word, threadicate, okay? I think proper threadicate is posting simply about hello Threads for a week, and then you can move on, okay? If you posted anything other than hello Threads for the first week and just thread content, then you're not part of the movement, all right? Then you've become a creator on Threads, and that's not what it's about. Being on Threads is about being a human and being a funny person and being a Muffin Friday enthusiast. That's what it's about. No, but I do love Threads. I'm enjoying it. And I like posting very rarely. I love Threads. Good on you if you're on Threads. Let's go. Big love for Threads. But I think that'll be interesting to see where that kind of goes down. I'm just enjoying making stuff in general recently. I made a post last week on my Instagram, which was I took the YouTube video that I made before designing in every program, and then I just made it into a post version. Maybe contributed to 100 views on the YouTube channel, but it was also my most liked Instagram post in the first 24 hours. It was unbelievable. And I was like, oh my God, I've made a viral Instagram post. Looked at the stats today. It's at 30,000 likes, which is very on the higher end for me. And I was very happy about that. And I checked the insights, which is the worst thing to do. You should never do this. And like only 10,000 of the people who have seen the post aren't following me. I think 700 people or something who liked it weren't following me. And I was like, God, is this still happening to me? This has happened to me since day one. And I don't know if this is a thing. I mean, I've grown the page very well. It has worked out. But I do believe that I've battled some form of, dare I say, shadow banning since like day one, where I have never made a truly viral post. Like, only on Reels has that happened. And I think that's just because Reels exists in its separate algorithm, its separate world, which has been confirmed today by creators, funnily enough. But none of my static posts have really done numbers in a way, you know? I've seen some people get hundreds of thousands of likes on their graphic design posters, and I've never gotten over 40, I don't think. 40,000. And I'm like, how does that actually work, right? What's going on there? Because I know they're good. I know some of them especially have been very good. And I'm like, what prevented it from doing really, really well? This one that I posted last Wednesday, obviously my followers love it. And I thought the way that algorithms work is like, it shows it to your followers. If they love it, it shows it to more people. That's what it should be. Yet the opposite happened for me. My followers loved it. And then it's like, oh, we'll keep it. It goes, oh, we're going to keep this one from the rest of the world. We're going to keep this one just to the ELLIOT fans. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But I don't really care. I care more about YouTube. YouTube seems to love me, which is really nice. So I'm just going to keep on doing that. I think that's good. I'd love to chat a little bit about interior design this week, as of course last week we talked about fashion, which was lovely to see. And on that note, Drew Joyner, who we were talking about last week, actually posted a poll where he asked, how many of your friends, do your friends care about fashion? And I thought this was a really interesting thing where I was like, how many of my friends know what like selvage denim is? Right? Like how many know what like that selvage denim is the premium quality of denim and stuff? I'm like, I don't think many of them do. And I'm like, it's funny, like that was another thing I think for the confidence thing where it's like I struggle a lot with trying to find the confidence to wear like some of the cool shit that I've bought. And I'm like the reason that I care so much, I think, is because I know too much about it now that I think too much about it. And like, God bless just being able to like, I wish I could just put on stuff and be like, this is good. And I think I'm getting to a stage where I can do that. But I think it's the thing of like, when you care a lot, you probably care more than 90% of people, right? So it's like, you don't really have to worry, I think, in a way. It's like, you know, you're just, if you love it, if you love fashion, if you love clothes and what makes good clothes and the materials and the brands and everything about it, which I very much do, then you can really just wear, I think, whatever you want, and people will kind of trust that passion is there. And I think that's what I want to start doing, wearing stuff that suggests to people that I care about fashion. And I think that's cool because I really do love it. I really do love fashion. I think it is art. I just adore it. I would love to go to a fashion week one time. I think that would be very fun. Would also love to walk a runway. Can I just say? I think that would be awesome. I think that would be very cool. I think Gucci did a twins runway thing once where they just got twins going. Would love to do that with my brother if they ever reintroduce that concept. I think that would be I think that would be really fun. So I look forward to that day where I can walk the runway as a model. As a model. And speaking of looks as well, I've been getting a lot of comments recently, more so than usual, funnily enough, about the fact that I look like Peso Pluma. And I think it's starting to get to me more than criticism does, which is such a weird thing. Usually when someone is critical of a video, it bugs me, even though it's the minority of commenters. Now it's the Peso Pluma comments, because now I'm starting to question what goes through someone's mind when they comment, bro looks like Peso Pluma. I got a comment today that said, love your videos, I think love your style, but if I'm being honest, you look like the singer Peso Pluma. Why did you have to say but? Why'd you say but if I'm being honest? Why did you need to... Why? What goes on when you're commenting that makes you think that that's a... Why? I don't get it. And that's what's really going through my head a lot of the time. Now it's just Peso Pluma. It's just that. It's just Peso Pluma over and over and over again. It's happening on Instagram. It's the mullet. It's happening on Instagram. It's happening on TikTok. It's happening on YouTube. It's happening on everything. And it's like the bigger Peso Pluma gets, the more it happens. And I think that's what I'm starting to realize, that he's, you know, in our own ways, we are both making moves. We're both at like an equal level in our respective fields, me in graphic design and him in, you know, just general fame, I guess. We're both at that same level, right? And It's just starting to get to me, Isel. That's just something. I wanted to address that. I wanted to address it. How I don't understand how people think that they are the first person to comment peso pluma, but I guess that's just YouTube. So it's tough. That's been on that keeps me up at night. All right. No, it's actually fine. I don't actually give a shit at the end of the day, but it's just a thing. It's just I wanted to get that out of my system. Interior design is a beautiful thing. I personally think it is my favorite thing in the world, and I've been looking to expand my stuff. I've been considering as well. I recently had to return a pair of shoes because they were too big. Unfortunately, a pair of Crocs. They were too big. They were I don't know if anyone's seen the Bembury Crocs. Fashionistas may have known about these. I won some in a raffle, and I had to send them back because they were too big, and I was like, maybe I can get an exchange. It cost me $60 to send them back to the UK. $60 to send a pair of shoes that weigh no less than a ball of sand. $60 to send them back to the UK. And I've been considering, how the hell am I going to send stuff to New York when I move there? How on earth am I going to send just a few things? I've been considering sending nothing except a suitcase and starting completely from scratch. But then I genuinely think, I'm like, if I have to buy furniture when I'm over there, would it be cheaper to just cop a bunch of shipping and like get a massive box, or like even I don't know, like a storage box or something and send it over there? I don't know how it works. I'm going to look into that, because the computer alone, if I can't send the computer over there, then that's Intel sent me this computer. They were very nice. It was for a gig. It's a good computer. And I'm like, do I just buy a new one when I'm over there, or do I just send all my stuff, my monitors, my setup? I think it makes the most sense to just send it all. I can't really think of why it wasn't. Anyway, it's something I've been thinking about. But I'm in a tricky position now where I want to keep... I don't feel like my apartment is complete yet, which I think is anyone interested in interior design, when you have a space to work with, maybe you're a minimalist and you can kind of, get away with just doing a few things. But I feel like I need to fill every single corner, which is why this empty space on the wall is really bugging me this time. I can't stop looking at it. I really need to get that print back up there. Otherwise, if I don't do it by next GDIME, I won't do it for the next 10. That's what I'm worried about. Needs to happen in the next week. Otherwise, it won't be there. But I've constantly thinking of things that I need to fill, and it's very annoying because I might have to leave this apartment in October, depending on the lease, if they won't let me renew it, or if they bump it up by like $300, which is genuinely a possibility based on inflation in Sydney. So it's difficult. It's difficult, but I do really adore it. I think some general tips maybe for interior design. A lot of people have said that they appreciate the space here and the way I've decorated it all. I want to make it clear that I have no idea what I'm doing, really. Like, at the end of the day, no idea. I'm just buying stuff that I like, I guess. A lot of this stuff I look at and I go, oh, like this couch was the first thing that I bought. And I'm like, oh, what a shame. What a shame, Elliot, that you bought an orange couch when maybe a cream couch would have looked a lot better in the space. But that's because I've added stuff since then, and now that I don't think the orange really works too well. But, it does still look nice. But I think some general tips are, usually in the city that you are in, I would say there might be an Instagram page or two where there's like some people who refurbish stuff and make like some really cool older items, polish it up a bit and resell them. Get around those pages. You can get some really, really cool stuff. Like my noob chair, which is the one slightly off screen. It's that yellow kind of chair that you can kind of see poking out. I got that for like a third of the price that it usually goes for, which was a beautifully like reupholstered version of it, which I was super happy about. And I think what else? Oh, this lamp as well. This is like a proper Oslo lamp from like the 70s. Got that. I absolutely love that thing. Chucked some smart lights in it. Ruined the integrity of it. I don't give a hoot. It looks sick. And that's in the space now. So finding stuff like that is really cool. There's also some great brands out there. None that I can really think of, but I think that I think Instagram is a really good place to start looking for it. But I think it's tricky because I usually think if you get an ad for it, it's probably like it's probably overpriced and pretty shit quality is what I'm finding. I've been seeing some companies who have been like taking things like the mushroom lamp, like the classic mushroom lamp, for example. Some coasters that I saw online. I think the place is called Bougie, It's called bougie, right? And it's this new thing, and you can tell that they're just like presenting it as like all this cool furniture and stuff and like vintage inspired and stuff, and it's just like really shit quality that's not going to last, right? So it's the same thing with fashion. I think anything that you buy you need to look at and you go like, is this going to last a long time? Because I think those are the pieces worth buying. Those are the pieces that you'll love in the end as well. I got these two like bedside table slash plinth kind of things from this place up in Fearon is the designer up in Byron Bay. These beautiful like dyed aluminium, like they look like legs, right? I'm looking at one right now. I can't show it to you because it's over there, but I'm looking at one right now, and I got two of them. And I know that I'm going to keep those forever, right? Like I just love them. I love them so much. It's aluminium, like it's going to last, right? They're like sturdy pieces of metal. Yeah. They work outdoors, they work indoors. And they just like, I'm like, great. That's a lifetime piece of furniture right there. And I love that. Yeah. I love looking at something and go, having that forever. I've got this beautiful recycled planter, which has got that like really cool recycled plastic kind of terrazzo finish almost. From a place called Design by Them here in Sydney as well. Really cool studio, really cool design studio. And that I'm like, great, until it breaks, you know, love that thing and I'll keep it forever. And all my little knickknacks too. I love my stuff here, like the dog rug, this little guy, Dr. Toothy up here, this Honey TV plush, stuff like that. I'm like, I love these knickknacks so much, and I can just put them in spaces and they'll just work. And I think it's really cool to kind of look at something and just love it and not change your mind about it. Whereas this couch was more of out of necessity when I bought it. And I was like, I had an empty apartment and I was like, I need a couch, and I just bought it. And now I'm like, no, what a shame. What a shame. So it's a thing where like you get to a point, and it's much like fashion. It's almost the exact same way. I think you get to a point where you develop your taste, you develop your style, you kind of understand what will work, what will fill certain spots, and then it kind of works out. But you need to take that leap. First of all, you need to like kind of sit down and have a look and be like, what is this one thing? What's going to be my next purchase? I think my next big purchase, what's it going to be, and how's that going to frame the rest of the place, and how's that going to frame the rest of my style? Would love with this pot here as well. This is just white pot. That's a very simple pot, but I think I would love to paint it or something like that. I think that'd be cool. I had a friend make this pot for me up here with my little star on it, and I'd love to chuck that on here as well. But interior design is awesome. It's so much fun. If anyone wants to chat interior design in the comments, please do. I would love to talk more about it. We had a good little fashion chat in the comments last week, which is great. Seems like some people were in the similar community that I'm in, and I think interior design is a little bit different. Actually, there's these God, I saw this video which I really like. These two guys, they used to do short form content. Let me see if I can find their name for you. Here we go. Bricks and Disorder. The channel name is Bricks and Disorder. They have made one long form video. It has 303,000 views in 4 days. That's their only video on the channel. Talk about people who know what they're doing straight away. They've got around 60k subs from one video. It's actually crazy. And it's called Making Designer Furniture We Can't Afford. And they make this like $15,000 couch in like the span of, I think they do it in over like 8 weeks or something like that. And they just document the entire process. It's the two of them. Really cool guys. I saw them on TikTok when they were like renovating this house. And they had this massive checklist. You might have seen them. They went viral a bunch of times. This massive checklist, and they would kind of tick off each one. They had a really funny editing style, great accents, and they would just like tick one off every single TikTok, right? And they had this deadline that they were kind of building towards. And that style works really well as a long form style. So that video is great. And I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see more of this stuff. But otherwise, in terms of like, I'm thinking about like YouTube interior design stuff. I don't think I follow too many. I actually don't think I do. I think it's more just like you look at there's some really cool YouTubers and they just film stuff within their space. And you go, okay, like, this is inspiration, just seeing you amongst it, because it is a set in a way. So I think a lot of YouTubers put a lot of time and effort into it. Like, I would love it if I could claim a lot of this stuff on tax. I might be able to. Gonna have a chat with my accountant about it. I think it might be a thing. It is kind of a set, kind of makes sense. So I really like that. I like that. I like it when you can kind of, that gives me the extra sense of purpose. I'm like, oh, that would look really cool on this angle. Like having the gallery wall set up in this way means that when I put the camera on that yellow chair, you can see it, right? It has that, we can do that angle and it looks really cool. I think the next video I'm going to experiment a bit more. I've been thinking about how I want to film it recently. And I think I'm going to do, there's a really cool channel called Good Work, which I've been doing the rounds recently. And it's this guy who just like kind of talks about, things like consulting, Fortune 500 companies. He recently did is the Forbes 30 under 30 a scam, and it's just the editing style is that he'll read out the entire script in different places around New York and then cut each line to one of the different shots. So it's like the vocals are really smooth, but like visually you get this different shot every single time. And I want to do something similar where like I'll set up like 3 different camera angles around the apartment, to give you a different sense of what it looks like, since the apartment tour never happened and probably never will happen for the sake of my privacy, I guess. Silly man. And I think like I want to do like make it like a complete picture, right? So it's a different angle of the apartment with different composition. I'm wearing different things in each shot as well, like drastically different outfits, and a different maybe color grading as well. I want to see what I can come up with. So I think that would be a fun way to spice things up rather than just having the one angle the entire time of me sitting on the couch, because that's kind of boring. I just need to buy a tripod. That's all I really need to get, and then maybe some kind of light I can move around as well, because the lighting isn't too good from any angle apart from coming in this way, which is quite nice. As you can see, my clone is lit up from that side as well. Yeah, I made that happen. Yeah, that was a feature. And yeah, that was on purpose. I think about everything. The only other thing I wanted to talk about in GDIME this week was a bit of music. If you haven't checked it out, ELLIOT Radio is the monthly Spotify playlist I chuck on. We had a commenter last week request me to talk about music. I think we'll chat about it next week. I'm very excited about that. Once again, this is like, we can call these this series of 3 episodes. We had last week a bit of fashion, this week a bit of interior design. Next week we can talk a little bit about music. We can have these pockets of taste, almost. The taste series across 3 episodes. How fun. That could be a thing. Who knows? But yeah, really enjoying this so far. Really enjoying how this is all going. And I want to add more stuff. I just was away. So next week, expect a little bit more. I might not have my co-host with me next week. Also, I really want to get guests on soon as well. And my first guest will probably be my brother. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I just need to get my audio set up all sorted. I need a second mic and a second input and all of that bullshit, because it's going to take a little bit of effort, but that'll work otherwise. But yeah, otherwise, I think we've been going on for quite a while. So happy GDIME, everyone. Thanks so much for listening in. If this is the first thing that you listen to on your Tuesday, which it seems like it is for a lot of the working people of the world, have a fantastic rest of week. Thank you so much for listening in to GDIME. Feel free to rate it 5 stars on Spotify if you've listened to more than 30 seconds. I think that's the only way you can review it. And otherwise, chuck a comment if you want me to talk about anything in the future. I was very good at replying to comments last week. Very proud of myself for that one. The week before was a bad week, but this week was better. So I'll be replying to and chatting with you all in the comment section there. And otherwise, this has been GDIME. You've been great. I've been Elliot. This has been my dear friend clone, Elliot. Give us one last meow for the camera. There we go. And I will see you all next week. Thanks, everyone. See you later. Bye.